Hello and welcome back to Defying the Stars Tarot and Astrology. If you have been following this channel previously, or you do a deep dive into my history, you may realize that this is the first video I'm posting since the end of 2020. I just wanted to address that briefly before I dig into it. At the end of 2020, fell in love with my now husband and have spent the past 4+ years getting married, becoming a stepmom, going through many career transitions, including a pretty major one right now. And I feel that now is the right time to fully dedicate myself to this project again that I've been so wanting to do. So I am happy to jump back in. We do not have a perfect setup here, but I was letting my perfectionism get in the way of getting started. So we're just diving in today. And we are going to do a pick a card or pick your deck tarot reading. The subject of this reading is going to be career and livelihood, along that kind of vein, how you are making your material way through the world, so to speak, because I am currently going through such a transition and it seems like an apt time for probably a lot of people. If you're following current events, you know that a certain segment of the workforce, the public workforce, is kind of going through it right now. So this seems like a good time to do what I can to help people figure out their next move. So today we have 4 decks to choose from. The first deck, deck number 1, is going to be Jane Austen Tarot deck. One that I don't believe that I've ever used on camera, so I'm very excited for that as a Jane Austen lover myself. Next, we are going to have deck number 2, Grimalkin's Curious Cats Tarot, for the cat lovers out there. I will also be putting all of these decks, and if I can find them, and links to where you can get them in the video description. Third deck is our Skyrim Tarot deck for the gamer nerds out there. It's classic. And finally, deck number 4, the Modern Witch Tarot, for all the modern witches out there trying to find out their next move. So the timestamps for each deck and reading will be in the description below if you would like to skip ahead. The way that these pick a deck tarot readings work is that you pick the deck that you feel resonates most with you for whatever reason. Doesn't have to be a quote-unquote good reason, just whatever feels right to you in the moment. Follow your gut, follow your instinct, and I will see you in your reading. And if you would like to watch the whole video through, by all means. Before I jump into the readings, I do want to put in the reminder, if you would like to help me in this endeavor in making this the best possible channel for readings and advice that it can be, please go ahead and like and subscribe and do all of those YouTube-y things. So I will see you in your reading. Welcome to deck number 1, the Jane Austen Tarot deck. So again, our reading today is about our career and livelihood, just giving some general guidance on what to do next in that vein. So if this is the deck you chose, let's dive right in. I'm going to give it a good shuffle. As I have not used this deck much, and I want to make sure that we're not just getting 5 cards in the same series in a row. So, just tuning into our intuition, asking the universe what is next for us in our career, in our livelihood, because career and livelihood can be very different things for different people. Got a few flyers, might be relevant. Right, I'm going to set it down and cut the deck. I'm trying to get our lighting good, but It's a work in progress. This is a new setup for me, so I appreciate your patience. All right, cutting the deck here. Let's see, we're going to do probably 3 cards, but if I feel like I need more, I will bring those out. All right, card number 1, the Ace of Spades, which corresponds to the wands in our traditional tarot. Card number 2, the Two of Diamonds, which is going to be our swords. No, hold on. That's going to be our coins. Sorry about that. And our 7 of Hearts, which corresponds to cups in our traditional tarot. I'm going to move the rest of the deck aside so we can see these more clearly. All right. Here's what I'm taking away from this reading. The Ace of clubs here, or our Ace of Wands, indicates that we have a new opportunity. It is a great time for starting something with energy and passion and diving right in with some action. The wands in particular are, they're associated with fire, and the element of fire is all about doing. Act first, think later. So the Ace of Wands in this reading is really telling you, like, hey, you have a great idea. It's time to dive into it. The Two of Diamonds here, to me, is very indicative of a potential partnership that can lead to financial success. You may have a friend, a spouse, a partner, um, a family member who is asking you, like, hey, join in me on this. If that is the case, this is a big green light to go ahead and do that. The Whenever you have twos in a reading, it can either be indicative of, something that can go one way or the other, or it can be indicative of, partnership, because it takes 2 to tango. My recommendation, combining it with the Ace of Wands, is to lean into that partnership. And it may not be a kind of business partnership kind of relationship. It could be that your spouse is saying, like, hey, I can take care of things right now. Go follow your passion. It could be something like that. It could be just having the support of someone close to you. But that is what that card indicates in this reading. Finally, we have our 7 of Hearts here. So that corresponds to cups in our traditional tarot. The 7 of Cups is a beautiful card. To me, the 7 of Cups just speaks of dreams and imagination and letting yourself follow your heart wherever it's taking you. The 7 of Cups is a great indicator that there are a wealth of opportunities available to you right now. So much that it might be overwhelming. You may have so many options that you're not sure which one to take. And honestly, I think this reading might be for me right now because I am in a transition period and have been wondering, do I go find a boring humdrum job? Do I get the bills paid? Or do I follow my passions? And the combination of these 3 cards says to me, this is a great time to follow your heart. And if it seems like there are a lot of options available to you, maybe take the time to explore some of them. You may have the time to explore some of them more than you think that you do. I want to pull just a couple more cards to make sure that we have kind of a full clarification on what exactly is going on here. So our next card is the 6 of Hearts, and you can see that the deck has chosen to associate this with the Lovers. So this is, the 6 of Cups or the Lovers. It's kind of tying the two together. Again, this is an indicator that, hey, you have a potential partnership here that is going to be meaningful and impactful to your situation, that leaning into it could be very fruitful. It also indicates, the lovers is very much a card of making decisions, having to um, choose between two very distinct options. But in this context, it doesn't feel like a, hey, you have a hard choice to make. This feels more like a, hey, you can lean into this and know that you are backed up in what you're doing. And one more card to sort of wrap it all up. All right, this is a Eight of Hearts, which would be the Eight of Cups in traditional tarot. They have associated this with the Moon card, so tying those two ideas together. And the card reads, "We all have our best guides within us, if only we would listen." A lovely quote from Jane Austen. This is just, that says it very plainly. You've got to trust yourself and trust your intuition here and really follow your heart, which maybe is something that you haven't done lately, which is maybe something that you have set aside in the interest of practicality, in the interests of survival, in the interests of taking care of the people closest to you. But this reading to me really says, there are other people around you who can pick up the slack. And if you have a dream that you've been putting off, if you have multiple dreams that you're interested in chasing, this is the time. So that is where I'm going to wrap up this first reading. I hope that it was helpful to you. If you feel like this made no sense whatsoever, maybe consider going back to the beginning, looking at the 4 decks again, and seeing if one of the other ones makes more sense as your first option for what might be able to guide you. But I hope this helps, and I hope to see you in a future reading. Thank you. Welcome to reading number 2. This is the Curious Cats, Grimalkin's Curious Cats Tarot deck. So if that's the deck you chose, you've come to the right place. We're going to start with a shuffle. And again, our question today is what guidance or advice that the universe has for us in terms of our career and livelihood going forward. Okay, I will go ahead and cut the deck and we will see what the cards have in store for us. All right, so moving that to the side just so that I can lay these out for you. Card number 1 is going to be our 6 of Cups, which is in the reversed position. Card number 2, Queen of Cups, upright. Card number 3, 9 of Cups, all the cups. Okay. All right. Well, this amount of cups tells me that we are in an emotional situation here. And so let's dig into what that means. I'm sorry that I keep shifting the cards. I'm trying to get them centered with the camera a little better. So 6 of Cups reversed. The 6 of Cups is a card of sharing, generosity. It is a card of harmony and peace. And having it in the reversed position certainly indicates an less than harmonious situation that you may be in. And it may indicate a situation where generosity feels like it's coming with some strings attached. Um, Given that it's cups, I really feel like this could be a bit of a family issue. Maybe a scenario where you are relying on a relative and for, survival or comfort, whatever the case may be. And that person is kind of taking advantage of that situation a little bit. The Queen of Cups here to me indicates that you are being called on to be the bigger person in this scenario. You are called upon to exercise all of your empathy and compassion and all of those wonderful soft skills that you have to navigate a situation like this and to try to see it from the other person's perspective, try to speak to them with an understanding of their perspective, even if you disagree with their perspective. um, People can get a long way just by feeling heard, even if they're hearing something they don't like, um, in return. But the Queen of Cups here, it really says to me, like, hey, it's time to set your own emotional boundaries, which you can do while also having compassion and empathy for the person on the other side of that boundary. And that level of compassion and empathy can really smooth over that process. And our last cup here, the Nine of Cups reversed. The Nine of Cups is really about emotional fulfillment, feeling like you are in just a good place. Um, and the Nine of Cups reversed here really indicates that you're not feeling emotionally fulfilled. Um, and that may very well be because of the first cards we have in our series, which is, the Six of Cups reversed. You're not feeling fulfilled because you feel like you're feeling taken advantage of, or you're not free to do the things that would make you feel fulfilled. Um, the main vibe I'm getting here is one of patience, um, trying to set some boundaries, speaking openly, being willing to be a little bit vulnerable. When you have so much going on in the realm of emotion, it seems like what is needed here is not some drastic action, but a good heart to heart. I'm going to pull a couple more cards here just so that we can sort of figure out what it is that our cards are saying. So I'm going to move these and pull a couple more. All right, the Grimalkin. This is not a traditional tarot card. This is added to this deck specifically. This is the namesake of the deck, the Curious Cat, Grimalkin's Curious Cat's Tarot. This is a card of approaching the world with curiosity and wonder and openness. And I think that confirms what I was saying about the Queen of Cups, about being a little vulnerable, being a little, emotionally open with others. There's a real kind of seek and you shall find, ask and you shall receive kind of vibe here. One last card to tie it out, the Eight of Cups. So this is a card of the eights are always interesting because the eights are kind of the number eight in numerology is kind of a karmic number. It can fall one way or the other because it's got two even sides to it. And when it comes to the Eight of Cups, there's a should I stay or should I go feeling to it. I think that in order to know the answer to that question, though, you're going to have to do what the rest of the cards are saying, which is be emotionally vulnerable, be willing to speak your truth, and, you know, the outcome is going to be whatever the outcome is going to be. So, this card to me says you're thinking about just walking away from this situation because you do feel taken advantage of. You do feel like you are not being fulfilled by it. But you're never going to know for sure what it is that's the right thing to do here until you open up about how you're feeling and get that response from from whoever is making you feel this way. Could be one person, could be multiple people. And that response, there's no guarantees in this world that people are going to be emotionally healthy and respond to somebody trying to set healthy boundaries in a good way. But that response can be very informative in, okay, if they can't handle having a healthy boundary set with them, then maybe they're not someone that I need to have a close connection with at this time. That's not to say you're going to cut them out of your life forever. That's not to say that they're never going to be able to accept your boundaries. They could get mad for a week and come back and be like, you know what, you were right. I was not treating you well and I need to change. You never know. And the cards, I don't think, are inclined here to tell you which way it's going to go. But they are telling you you're going to have to take that emotional leap. Be that Queen of Cups in all of her emotional strength and resilience. Fill yourself with that kindness and compassion, and know that even if someone can't handle your emotional strength and your boundaries, that is not a reflection on you. That is a reflection on them. And have compassion for them, because circumstances in their life have taught them bad boundaries. A lot of times, people who do not have their boundaries respected as children grow up to have a hard time respecting other people's boundaries. And this is getting into the realm of psychology here, but just because someone is not able to be what you want them to be in your life, you can still love them. You can still have all of the empathy and compassion in the world for them, but you ultimately have to do what's best for you. But before you can make any decisions, you have to find out what this situation really is. And in order to do that, you have to be vulnerable. So this was a tough one. If you are in this situation and this is resonating with you, I strongly encourage you to, take strength from this and lean on the people in your life that you know that you can trust. Lean on those healthy support systems and really take care of yourself. You have my support. You have my encouragement. I wish you all the best. If this didn't resonate at all with you, I encourage you to take a look at the 4 decks at the beginning of the video again and see if maybe another one is calling to you a little more. But either way, I hope to see you again in a future reading. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Hello, welcome to deck number 3. This is our Skyrim tarot deck. For those Skyrim lovers out there, I love this deck so much. If you're familiar with the game, you'll really enjoy this. If you're not familiar with the game, I'll explain what is happening in tarot terms. So if you pick this deck not knowing what you're looking at, it's okay too. So I've pre-shuffled, learning as I go along, not to make you watch me shuffle as we do this. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the deck and we can get right into it. All right, I'm just going to put my deck off to the side and we will just be able to see the cards. So first card in our career transition reading here. I keep putting them down in weird ways because I keep forgetting that I've changed my setup here. Okay, but that should be correct. Okay, so our first card is Death Reversed. Very interesting. Our next card in our session is going to be the Empress. And our final card, the Two of Spells. So the Two of Spells is wands in this, Two of Wands in this scenario. I'm going to just do 3 cards at first and then we'll get into it more. But okay, we are looking into our career and livelihood with this. Okay, with Death reversed here. Death is a card of transition. It is a card that is tied to the cycle of life and death, the cycle of death and then rebirth and renewal. So while it has a negative connotation of like, oh, something's dying, what it's really talking about is that cycle of, okay, something dies and something new begins. To have it reversed here, though, it makes me think of something that is we're having a hard time with letting go of. We are having a hard time saying goodbye. We are having a hard time cutting the cord, so to speak. So you may be in a situation where you are feeling like you're maybe coming to an ending, but you're not sure how to close it off. You're not sure what happens next. You're not sure if it is really an ending. The Empress card coming in the center here tells me that you hold the power in this situation. It may not feel like it at the moment, but you have power that you could be harnessing here. You it is a soft power. It is not a aggressive, burn it all down kind of power. It is more of a you have the ability to assert your will in a way that is still kind and considerate of others, but um, if you do, exercise that will, it'll be respected, it'll be seen and heard. With the Two of Spells coming in here at the end, I apologize for my lighting. We've got kind of a mixed situation here. This is the first video in a long time, as I said in the beginning, and my lighting situation is not ideal. Okay, that's a little better. A little less glare on that bad boy. Okay, so our Two of Spells here. Center them up. Our Two of Spells here indicates that we're kind of at a crossroads. The Two of Wands is all about getting started on something. You are looking out at what it is you could be doing, and you are choosing which action to take, which path to follow. So what we have here is definitely a turning point. We see their death being reversed. It seems like a possibility that this thing that you're considering is not quite dead yet. And depending on the choice you make, it could be revived. There's also a possibility that there's another path to take, that there is a potential for starting over. Um, let's take a couple more cards to get some more clarity to this situation. All right, our next card is going to be the Queen of Spells reversed. So the Queen of Spells would be the Queen of Wands in this scenario. With that card coming in the reversed position, what that tells me is that the Queen of Wands has a lot of power. She is a mover and a shaker, and she has the ability to uh, to to dictate, to oh god, the word is just completely escaping me. um to delegate, that's the word I'm looking for. She has the ability to really get things going. But in the reversed position, I think there's a feeling of uncertainty. There's a feeling of maybe feeling like your hands are a little bit tied. There's a fear of exerting that much authority. Let's see one more card and see if that can kind of bring us to a full conclusion. The King of Spells reversed. So more of the same. We have here energy that is just being stifled and held in place right now. And going back to our first card, the Empress, like the power is really in your hands. I think what I'm seeing from these cards is that you are in a state of deep uncertainty, of deep indecision. What I get from these cards is not that there is a wrong decision, but that it's time to make a decision. It's time to make a move. It's time to decide one way or the other. Now, maybe, just maybe, our deck will be kind and give us some guidance on which way to go. And it may be that there is no wrong decision, but I've cut it one last time with that question in mind to see what it can tell us. Okay, the Six of Lockpicks reversed. So the Six of Lockpicks, and if you're familiar with Skyrim, there is a very prominent thieves guild in the game that the lockpicks are an homage to. But that corresponds to our coins, our pentacles. So when the six is reversed, it is an indication that we are in a situation of lack of harmony, lack of balance in the material world. It could be a situation where someone's generosity is coming with some strings attached. It could be a situation where you are holding on too tight. You are kind of hoarding because of fear of scarcity, of the future, the unknown. What I get from all of this is just a lot of fear and uncertainty. And I think it's because you are maybe in what is a seemingly lucrative position right now, but there's another offer on the table and you're not sure which way to go. Cards are really not wanting to help with the answer to that, though. Let's see if I can get one more in here. We'll try one more. Okay, the Four of Lockpicks reversed. So the Four of Pentacles is all about stability. Stability in your resources, in your comfort, stability in your family life. Based on all this, I'm getting a real vibe of not wanting to rock the boat. What I would say here, going back to this Empress, is the decision is entirely in your hands. You have the power. And with that power, you have the ability to carry out your decision with grace and effectiveness. So, what I would urge you to do, based on these many, many cards that are not willing to make this decision for you, what I would encourage you to do is to follow your intuition, because the Empress is the pinnacle of feminine power. She is in touch with her intuition. She is in touch with her emotions. She is able to balance those things. The Empress here tells me it's time to go with your gut. Follow what you believe is the right path, what feels like the right path for you. And it's gonna be okay. Um, all of these worries, about stability and comfort and your livelihood, all of these worries about, feeling like there's all these reasons why you can't take action. You gotta just kind of let that go and follow your own lead here. I hope that helps. I know that was a bit of a. These cards feel a little stubborn to me, a little bit like they're trying to teach some lessons. So I'm sorry that you were probably looking for something a little clearer than what this was. But the vibe I get from it is that it's time for you to take the reins and it's time for you to make the decision. So again, I hope this helps. If this doesn't resonate at all for you, I would encourage you to go back to the beginning of the video, review the 4 decks again, and see if another one doesn't maybe resonate a little bit more. See if that other reading might make a little more sense to you. But regardless, I hope to see you in a future reading. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. This is going to be deck number 4, the Modern Witch Tarot. So if this is the deck you chose for your reading, welcome. We are going to give it a quick shuffle. On the last deck I did, I finally had the idea to shuffle off camera, and then I forgot to do it on this one, so bear with me. I do apologize. But we are just going to shuffle her up and cut the deck, see where we're at. And now our question here, of course, is what guidance the universe has for us for our career and livelihood. What's going on there? So we're going to pull 3 cards to start with. I will read those out, and then we will ask for additional guidance as necessary. All right, so getting started here. We're trying to get these straightened out. My camera's a little uneven, and I don't want it to impact you as the viewer, but we're doing the best we can right now. Okay, for this reading, we have the Six of Swords reversed, the Knight of Pentacles reversed, and the Ten of Cups reversed. So a lot of reversals here. Some people don't read reversals, but I find them helpful, and just to add a little more nuance to what's going on with the situation. So the Six of Swords reversed, starting off with that card. This is a card about just moving away from the past, from bad situations, from things that are no longer serving you. The fact that it's reversed here indicates that you're having a hard time doing that there's something holding you back from fully letting things go. The Knight of Pentacles reversed. The Knight of Pentacles is a card about starting a new journey. And the pentacles here specifically would mean a journey that is related to the material world, financial or more material success. Starting that journey, but again, we're reversed here. So that journey is on hold. There is something holding us back. And the Ten of Cups reversed. With the Ten of Cups, what you usually have is ultimate happiness, the perfect, most fulfilling situation, not just for you, but for your entire circle of loved ones. When it's reversed here, and in this specific context, I feel like what we have is a situation that was once very happy and fulfilling and is maybe no longer quite that way. And I think when we go back to our first card, the Six of Swords reversed, what we have is a situation where you're starting to get the feeling that it might be time to move on. But it's hard to do that because the situation was so good at one time and was so fulfilling for you. This could also be indicative of a situation where what is emotionally fulfilling is not necessarily materially fulfilling. You may love what you're doing, but it's not paying the bills, that kind of scenario. And I'm thinking what's happening here is that it's probably time to move on, but I see that there is some reservation about that. So what I'm going to do is draw a few more cards to see what our next move is. Okay. More reversals. My goodness. Okay. The Two of Cups reversed. The Two of Cups is a card of partnership. It is not always indicative of a romantic partnership. It is an emotional connection with another human being that has been fulfilling, productive, helpful to you. With it reversed here, again, I'm seeing a situation where maybe what was once really good is not working out so well. This could be a creative partnership, a business partnership, a romantic partnership, whatever the case may be. It feels like it's become less beneficial, less harmonious. And in so doing, this can have a real impact on the financial side of things, the material survival side of things. If you are talking about potentially dissolving a marriage or a business partnership, that can have a big impact on your livelihood. And that can make it even more hard to figure out what the right answer is. For those of you that picked this deck and this reading is resonating, I really feel for you right now. I haven't been there myself. I've been brokenhearted a lot, and I have been in a very happy partnership, which fortunately has not come to an end. But I've never had something turn from really good to maybe not so good and have to make such a hard decision. So I really feel for you. But let's see what more guidance we can give. The world. Okay. The world indicates a sense of completion. It is, in a nutshell, things have come full circle. The world can indicate that you are about to reach a fulfillment of a goal. But in this context, with these other cards, I feel like what the world is saying here is that yes, you have already reached the pinnacle of what this situation can give you. We are coming full circle. And sometimes that circle is the cycle of ending one thing and starting another. Um, you'll notice this card, the symbology on the card is really speaking to me right now. It has the symbols um, for the four fixed signs in astrology. So Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and Capricorn. Not the four fixed signs. No, I'm just being blonde. That's Leo. That is the other fixed sign. So those four fixed signs in astrology, these are signs that do have a hard time moving on. You yourself listening to this reading may be one of those signs. And, and uh, you know, moving on is hard to do. I'm not gonna say that it isn't. It's maybe a little easier for me because I'm full of mutable energy, but that doesn't mean it's not legitimately hard. Um, let's get one more card in here because I feel like there's one more piece to this. The Hanged One. So the Hanged Man, or the Hanged One, as the case may be in this card, is someone who feels stuck. But it's not always a bad card when it comes to the thing about the Hanged Man is that it gives you a completely different perspective because you're seeing the world upside down, right? I think what this card is saying is that you are now getting a new perspective on the situation that you've been in. You are seeing it differently, and that perspective is valuable. And the thing about the Hanged Man is that yes, it indicates someone who is stuck, but really looking at this card, only their leg is tied up. We don't see their hands, but their hands could be free, and they are maybe able to take themselves down and get out of this situation. What I'm feeling from this reading is that it may take you a little more time to get there emotionally, but when you do, you're not wrong for moving on, for starting something new. It's going to be scary. It's not going to be easy, but it is probably going to be the right thing for you in the long term. I want to go back to my deck for just one or two more cards to give me an idea of what the outcome of moving on from this situation is going to look like, to hopefully give you a little faith. All right, the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords to me is like that moment of pure clarity when you just slice right through everything and you get to the heart of the matter and you realize, yes, this is what's going on. I think that moment of clarity is coming for you. And once you have it, it's going to be a little easier to start taking those steps in a different direction. And finally, the Queen of Pentacles. And this is reversed again. The Queen of Pentacles indicates someone who is very on top of their shit. Pardon my French. She is very much in control of her circumstances. I'm saying she because it's the queen, but this could very well be for someone who identifies as male. Whenever I say he, she, masculine, feminine in my tarot readings, what I'm referring to is the energy, that masculine or feminine energy, which has kind of defined parameters in the understanding of tarot. So it's not so much assigning gender as just a framework for understanding what the card is talking about. So, with this feminine energy from the Queen of Pentacles, the fact that it's reversed, what I'm seeing is that there is some financial uncertainty. There is some fear of being able to hack it, being able to um, be in control of your own finances or livelihood or whatever the case may be. Um, but the fact that it's reversed here doesn't mean that that's not something that you can access. All it means is that you're having trouble accessing it right now. What this tells me is that if you lean into your power, become that Queen of Pentacles upright, believe in your own abilities, believe in your ability to, whether you want to call it manifest or you want to call it hard work, whatever the case may be, believe in your ability to produce what you need to survive in this world. And not just survive, but thrive, because the Queen of Pentacles is going to thrive. She's not just scraping by, you know? So, in summary, with this reading, I see that there is a situation that is hard to walk away from. It may not be clear yet that it's time, but that clarity is coming. And when it does, you just got to own it, and you just got to have maybe a bit of a fake it till you make it mentality. Believe in yourself, and it is going to come out all right. You have the strength to do this. And especially if you're in that fixed energy that I mentioned from the world card, like, you have so much strength. That is the core of that fixed energy, is that you will not be budged against your will. You will not be tossed about by the winds of change or fate or whatever. And you can lean into that strength here. I hope that that was a helpful reading. I hope that you are able to find a path toward fulfillment, success, happiness, whatever it is that you're looking for. And I keep saying this in all of my readings. If this didn't resonate at all, please feel free to go back to the beginning of the video, take another look at the decks that were on offer, and see if one of those feels maybe like it resonates a little bit more. Check out that reading. Um, or, come back and see me in another video. Maybe this just wasn't the day for your question. But I do hope to see you again. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.